Fresh, the legendary K Fresh. Yogi and family in Canada. All tuned in. Tofik from Talksmart Technology. Ajiman Joseph. Eugenia Sintimedi. Gerald in Pokwase. Walanyo in Akwatia. Stephen Jampo in Koforia. Denta, I see you. Godson Tenge in Amasamai. Ni Toji from Tema Newtown. Kwame Obrimpon Bachona. Eric Mike Ter in Tema. Francis in Medina. Joe Dido in Afienya. Hey, talking about Afienya. Oye in Afienya. I met your daughter, Pearl. Good evening to you and your daughter. Congratulations to you on your lovely school. Oye in Afienya. Delali David with JL Management Services. I see you. And this is your 4th anniversary, Mrs. Tofik. Tofik says he loves you very, very much. Professor Bafwa Jimendia, thank you very much. King Pebu, thank you. Odote ni Odote. Odote, you be fine. Time we missed you. Message to the future Veep. Probably a warning to the current Veep. For the faint-hearted. Post it on your group. Because you definitely want to be discussing it after the show. A message to the future Veep. Warning to the current Veep. Acknowledging, marking you. To our youngest listener, Princess Nyami Nyunya. Says, Daddy, I was dancing to your song. More fire. There's an issue disclaimer, okay? It's a disclaimer kind of show. Emmanuel Houston in Germany, Aquaba. Philip in North Legon. Folks, we start the way we start. Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao, the fourth chief of the Little Republic of Akwemu Edumasa. And I say thank God it's Monday. Another wonderful opportunity to meet up and do what we do best, to perform the finest ritual on radio, a ritual I love so much, a ritual that has given me knowledge, earned me respect, and above all, a network of friends and family, some of whom I've never met, yet they are very present and available. And for that, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. Folks, welcome to the ritual I call That's My Opinion, only on Joy 99.7 FM every Monday at this time. So set your clock, set your alarms, make a date, save it, and join us. Our topic today, a message to the future Veep, a message to the future Veep, and probably a warning to the current Veep. Folks, at this point, I say let us all gather and make truth good. Now, for once, as I sat down to do my typing and write and put my thoughts together, for once, I really did not know where to start. Folks, I have been doing this show in this format, same trend since 2006. Yes, that's how long. And at that time, I was much younger, very abrasive, maybe even aggressive. And I did not live in a glass house. I was nowhere near a palace. Therefore, I could throw any material I wanted, stone or even harder, I could throw. Then as I grew older, I realized I have become more measured. I take extra caution in my tone. I even thought because of that, you would stop following. But somehow, you still accommodate the old version of me. And again, I thank you. And the show still goes on. Someone says, hey, Nana, if this is your calm version, then I wonder how fiery you must have been. Well, folks, now I am an occupant of a glass house and a tenant in a palace. But permit me to find a bit of my older self. Permit me to find a bit of my older self to do the show. Well, Abeku says, permission granted. My boss says, permission granted. So let me issue a disclaimer that all comments and views on this show and this particular topic, Joy FM and multimedia completely disassociate itself from it. Folks, last week our topic was the gospel according to Bento. My good friend Kofi Bento put out his opinion that the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, would be a good president if given the chance, stating that he has not gotten executive powers to overturn certain decisions which are inimical to growth or unpopular among citizens. The general undertone, the general undermessage is that he is not part of the failures and the mess we find ourselves in. Last week I said I was not going to give any opinion. I just listened And it was quite telling. Generally, the callers were not very happy with the status quo. Folks, I am going to be brutally frank. The chips will fall where they may, and some oxen may be God, whoever the owner or the owners are, who cares? Today they may be God. It may not be pleasant. Some may find it quite uncomfortable, but folks, it's the hard truth. Folks, the issue of lame vice presidents in Ghana is nothing new. Head of economic so and so, head or chairman of the police council, etc. We hear that. I mean, I'm not sure I've even heard the vice make any statement or do anything, with regards to the police. I don't know, maybe you have. I mean, the last time I heard something was when he arrested the dollar, gave it to the IGP, and somehow the dollar even escaped. Apart from that, maintain IGP ni police case. This is Ghana. Folks, even matters of cabinet sometimes leak. So we hear of what happens. And usually the aides around the president do not give the vice president their proper due. We hear almost every vice goes through this neglect or this problem. Folks, we are even told of Jerry Rawlings, former president, God bless his soul, squeezing the testicles of Vice President Akar, also God bless his soul. We heard, rumored. So that's where, vice presidents have been struggling. Some aides around Professor Mills, also God bless his soul, were told had no respect for former President John Mahama when he was vice. So when power suddenly shifted, they knew they were in trouble. Some cried like babies. So yes, the issue has been rumored, perceived all along as to whether we give the vice more powers. The jury is still out. Now, from the horse's own mouth, he says, I am a driver's mate. Until I start driving or handed over the car, I don't have much say in how smooth we travel or the destination we travel to. So the conversation and analogy have been centered around the driver and the mate. And I'm a bit confused. Folks, the driver this, the mate that, the driver this, the mate that, all week. You listen to communicators from both parties arguing. Hey, folks. And I'm thinking, well, what about the passengers? What about us? As my daughter would say, Dad, what about me? I said, Daddy, what about me? So what about us? Do we matter in all this? Indeed, without the passengers, what will be the need for driver and mate? And instead of concerning yourselves with our plight, which you and your driver have caused, we are now being asked to forgive. We are being asked to feel sorry for the mate. Christ me. Why should we suffer because the driver and mate are not on good terms, or the driver won't take advice from the mate, and so we, the passengers, should suffer? All these policies and taxes and bad roads and everything that we go through, does the mate suffer any of this? So why should the passengers suffer? Why should we feel sorry for anyone? Folks, this is how I see it if we are going by driver-mate analogy. So we want a car to travel to Edumasa, which is in the eastern region around Akosombo. We got to the station. We hear the maid shouting, Edumasa, Edutown, Edumasa, Edutown, fast, 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 air-conditioned car, moving, moving, moving. We even have a toilet on board. The driver is excellent. And it's not like the other drivers who are incompetent. And he's constantly telling us the other drivers are incompetent. This is a good car. And this is coming from the mate. So we agree. We agree. And I'm sure in law, there should be, even though it's not on paper, in law, there should be some agreement that they were telling us that there's a competent driver going to Odumasa, and based on that, we pay our fare and get on. So we agree to board. We like the sound of that. This is a competent driver with solid economic management team. The bus takes off. Initially, we are heading the right direction. Then, for one reason or the other, we change course. Hey, mate, where are we going? Because it looks more like the opposite direction. Very, very opposite. But check this out. On the road, when the driver overtakes, the mate says, wow, my master is a very good driver. You see how he overtook that car? When the car falls in the pothole, oh, I'm not the one driving. So eventually it looks like we will end up probably in Takoradi in the Western region, nowhere near where we want to go. Nowhere near what we boarded the car for. Folks, we boarded at 4 cedis to $1. We boarded at about 6 cedis per liter of fuel. We boarded at 2 cedis for ball of kinky. So where are we going? Overloaded with ministers. And yet we are going. But here's the annoying part. Folks, here is the annoying part. After heading the wrong direction for so long, miles and miles and miles, the maid says, when we get there, pay me, and I promise to take you back to Odumasa. What? When we get to Takoradi, you pay me, and I'll bring you back to Odumasa. And so you know we are going the wrong direction. You know that we are not going the right direction. We should reward you with power to take us back. Folks, in the meantime, are you going to refund our fare? Refund our e-levy? Refund hike in prices? Refund hike in exchange rate? Funny COVID test charges that no one knew where the money was or how they even ended up there? Are you going to refund all that? Because if we are talking a metaphorical driver and mate, then it's a metaphorical journey. So this is the journey we are traveling on. We are traveling on houses being demolished to build a cathedral that never happens. Yes, our lorry fare has been sunk into it. Will you pay us? Or that's gone. We should just grin and bear it and give you the opportunity to break the 8. My friend, come again. It's about the passengers, us. It's not about you and your driver. If you don't know how it is to communicate to the driver and be friends with the driver or find out how to convince the driver to go to the bus, that is not our problem. Or that's gone. We should grin and bear it. No. My friend, you have to come again. We have to come again. Because it's not about mate and driver. We are the ones suffering. And this is not what we bargained for. When we came to the station and we were shouting, incompetent, 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 this is not what we bargained for. You can't get in the middle of the road and tell me, incompetent, incompetent. If you want us to let you drive us back, then turn the vehicle round now. If you want a shot at the driving seat, then turn the vehicle round now. Because if we end up in the wrong destination, we will punish you by boarding a new vehicle. Folks, let me explain further. Because we have been taken for a ride for far too long, overtaxed and underserved. We sit and watch people we bring into power live like gods, have their treatment in Dubai and all the fancy places, and they leave this misery for us. We see it. Overtaxed and underserved. Folks, should we feel sorry and give the Veep power? Is he going to give birth to some new crop of MPP people? Or he will use the same ones that we are complaining about every day. The arrogance and everything. Is it the same crop? So folks, it's not a one-man show. It's never been a one-man show. So yes, the president will go. But if truly the party believes in the mate's vision, then we demand to see it now. But to tell us to endure to the destination we did not ask to go, then and only then will you take us back. Abochi, come again. Abochi, you must come again. It's now or never. So to all future Veeps, everybody who's been called to be vice president, before you accept to be a mate, please vet your driver and vet him well. Because if he falters, you will be crucified along with him. Folks, it's hashtag passenger movement. Hashtag passenger movement. What about us? We are now thinking about us. If you have ambition of ever becoming a driver's mate, make sure the driver is a good driver. Make your displeasures known. Find ways to convince him and make your displeasures known to us. Quit, jump, jig, whatever it takes to make our lives better. Otherwise, you will be crucified along. So, all I would say is, Abochi, start lobbying. It's not a one-man show. It's you and a party and the current driver. So start lobbying. You have 10 months to convince your party to turn this vehicle round. If indeed you will be if they will be working with you, if indeed you have the blessings of the driver, otherwise we will also advise ourselves. After all, you, the mate, was the one who convinced us to join this bus. Nurses are tired, teachers are tired, this person is tired, and traders are tired. This time, we are also tired. Folks, this time, we are also tired and we are worn out. It's as though it's a blank check. I mean, anybody can do as they please, as they want, and go scot-free. Just a nothing. I don't know what the threshold is. Honestly, I don't know what threshold is. We've had instances where people have pulled a gun in broad daylight and fired, go scot-free. Cash found in people's well, go scot-free. Galamsey, just say they obey ye biara. So no. Yes, we are tired, we are worn out. But 10 months is a long time in politics. So win our affection again. And we may reward you with the driving seat. Folks, I mean, when you elect a chief and he's going to swear, right? Me and Ansah Kwao, I swear that I'll come and continue the works of my forebears. Here we are, swearing and saying that I will never do what my forebears did. Hello? Can't tell me that the banana number and minye bida. I can't tell me that the banana number and would you win ye bida. I mean, you don't know how big this is, but it's very big. Instead of promising to continue the works of your forebears, here you are, departing from your forebears. Well, folks, you may agree with me, you may disagree with me, but it's 0302216541. I am saying, if you want to work with 50 ministers and want to cancel e-levy, VAT, look, go and find out. Airport, go and find. Tell us all that. Then we know that yes, you will be a good driver. But say yanko do takrade. Now be saying the if you have bedu masadi and no dear abuchi. Enfa, you could do takrade, I will take a new bus. So if you want us to go with your bus, turn it around now. Dr. Baumia says he's a driver's mate. We'd rather thought he was a spare driver. How could we hand over to a mate who didn't know and can't even drive? A mate is not necessarily qualified to drive, especially when he's only sat in the vehicle collecting money without offering suggestions to the driver. BB in North Kaneshi. Hi, Nana, please. Hi, Nana, please. Are you a carpenter? You are hammering on things I've been thinking of. Stay blessed. That's AB. Hashtag passengers. What about us? Hello, and who's talking to me?
Yeah, this is Benjamin from Adenta.
Benjamin, let me hear you.
Yes, you've made fundamental points, and you ought to be applauded for that. But the thing is, our vice presidents know very well what they do. Look at how people are jostling to become Baumia's vice, which means there's something there, right? If they know they will just be driver's mates, who want to do that? Over here, we like jargons. Now we are talking about let's rather have prime ministers, as if the vice president cannot be found job to do, and the vice president have job to do. Now let me give you the analogy. When Akufo-Addo was speaking Baumia from the Bank of Ghana in 2008, he told us he's just a lawyer. He needed an economic whiz-kid to come help him steer the economy. That's what he told us. And Baumia also jumped on the campaign trail 2008, 2012, 2016, and he was trumpeting his economic prowess. Posing questions to the late Mr. Ansah, which today I am saying he should answer himself. If he knew that office was just, some rubber stamp office, why was he posing questions to Mr. Ansah? There's a lot of work that vice presidents do. Otherwise, why are we paying them so much money? That means that he's a fraud. Excuse my word, but if you're telling me, Nana, that you come to Joy FM and you do nothing, and in the end they pay you, are you not then a fraud? So you are chairman of the economic management team. If your advice wasn't taken, why was he holding lectures telling us about the rate of the dollar rising against the NDC's record, telling us about how he was arresting the dollar, or actually arrested the dollar, gave the key to the IGP, telling us about all the niceties when the economy was doing well because of IMF. The vice presidents have jobs to do. When the president is out of the country, they step in as the president and they chair cabinet meetings. The vice president has jobs to do. And also the mate analogy, I run transport business. Any driver, you can go and ask them, they pick the best mate. Why? Because the mate is in charge of the economy of the bus. The mate takes money from the passengers, right? The mate then calls passengers. If the vehicle is empty, the mate must make sure he shouts for passengers to come and sit in, and the mate must give the passenger the correct change. Otherwise, the driver cannot buy fuel. The driver cannot pay they call it the sales. Cannot make sales to the owner of the vehicle, which means the vehicle will grind to a halt. So even telling us that his mate to analyze it critically will tell you that the mate has a lot to do, which means that Baumia doesn't know, excuse my language, his left from his right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much too. Hello, and who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening, Nana. Abu Mohammed from Japan. I'm talking to you.
Let me hear you, my brother.
Yes, last week I stated that I never understand what incompetence meant. But now the reality had made me understand. You see, the media and some of the politicians hyped Baumia, and he also took advantage of that and then did what he did. You understand? You asked us to comport ourselves in our speeches. So therefore, he took advantage of and did what he did to us. You say you want more money. Why did you remove the two if you really want more money? And those who has academic background, who want to use their academic background to confuse us, I beg you, let them go and take somebody's trotro and find a mate. Experience is the best teacher. You cannot use your book analogy to come and justify something you have no idea of.
Thank you very much. 0302 216 541. Dr. Baumia saying the Veep is just like a driver's mate, makes us feel that after all, the position is not relevant. I therefore suggest that he just resigns if he thinks the position is not needed. So would he appoint a Veep to do what? This is dishonest claim credit for all achievements and disassociate himself from failure. This is not leadership. Utu in Abeka, good evening. Hello, who's talking to me?
Good evening.
Hello.
My name is Craig.
Craig, where are you?
Millennium City, that's right.
Come again?
Millennium City, Kaswa.
Let me hear you, my brother. Let me hear you.
All right. This is a great opportunity for me to say something big about what the Vice President said in the past. I'm wondering how our upcoming generation, the children coming up, will consider this message from the Vice President, whether it's a good message or it's a bad message. But I have a problem with our youth. Because if you ask someone like a child who was in the JHS or SHS when the e-levy policy was introduced, the parliament for them to deliberate on. If you ask this person, what is your knowledge about this? The person will say, I don't know anything. And I'm wondering, how can you do something like that? Because this is something that brought about conflict in the parliament, and you still don't have any clue. So now, Dr. Baumia has actually realized that the mind of Ghanaian, should I call it a fragile mind, or I cannot, he has considered the way we think as very fragile to the extent that he will formulate propaganda, bring it to us. Then these children will accept his information and vote for him, and so on and so forth. So I want to ask, will Dr. Baumia pick a running mate?
Good question. 0302216541. Hello, and who's talking to me?
I'm Lincoln, calling from Akotiman.
Lincoln, let me hear you.
Thank you so much. I think we all listen to Dr. Baumia recently. And I know this is going to continue because Dr. Baumia is fond of giving lectures. The good people of this country knows that Dr. Baumia cannot be trusted. Because in opposition, things that is said about the economy, the money is here, we should try them. Mama should wake up on the money. Today, what are we saying today? These people don't even qualify. They don't even know how to go to IMF and borrow money. Look at how they stretch the whole country before giving them the first and the second chance. And I'm not even sure that we'll get a third chance. So we are saying that President John Dramani Mahama should come back and give life to businesses to strive, because these people are just in government to satisfy their family and friend club. Dr. Bama talked about digitization. And we all know President Mahama built Digital Center, which is part of the Secret Interchange. And we all know 2015, 2016, Uber was working in this country before the MPP came. But they are claiming that the Uber started working during their time, which is false. And Dr. Baumia now is known as the most liars.
I agree with you, but as far as whatever it is, it was started. You know that the revolution and the shake-up was definitely his time. That you can't take away from him. But that's not my point. All I'm saying is that he wants a shot to be a driver. He has enumerated certain things which are directly opposite to what is happening now. And I'm saying since it's not going to be a one-man show, then clearly the party and the leaders should rally behind him and start moving towards his direction. Unless, of course, they don't believe in his direction. Otherwise, they should give him a shot. Because I find it quite amusing. When I come, I'm going to take fewer ministers. Why? Because we've talked and talked and talked about ministers. All these taxes, some of them are inimical to progress. But the good old finance minister say, even their own party rallied. So what I'm saying is, if you want to drive the car, you better never drive a car. Let the car start move in the direction that you would go when you get the seat. But MIF see now you can so that one I don't buy it. Hello, and who's talking to me?
Anna, please, this is Timothy from Akwete.
Let me hear you.
Anna, good evening.
Yeah.
Anna, please, our leaders don't think about that.
Come again.
Our leaders, they don't think about that. Like, they don't respect us as a people. We are a country of 30 million people who cannot feed ourselves. They are these fancy, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. He knows he cannot do it. He just wants power. We've seen it in this country before. History is just going to repeat itself. All of them are the same. And I'm telling you, all of them are the same. If vote for me, I'll come and do this, I'll come and do that, I'll come and... You have fantastic politics when you were in opposition. How come all of it vanished when you came into power? About this maid, driver analogy, I'm the maid, I'm the this, I'm the... Like you are saying, you knew you were going to be the maid. So why were you asking questions when you were in opposition? All these, they just need us for two things. When it's time to vote and when they want us to pay taxes. Simple. And I thank you, and may your reign be blessed.
Thank you too very much. 0302216541. Who's talking to me?
Hello, Ansah Kwao.
Yes,
my
sir.
name is PK.
PK,
and I'm calling from Question Man.
Let me hear you, my brother.
Okay, Nana, this conversation you're having with us has reminded me of another conversation in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And in Genesis 18, there's this story about God and Abraham having a conversation. And Abraham was trying to plead for the people of Sodom and Gomorrah by trying to raise numbers for God to use as a way of saving the people from destruction. So he started with 50 and ended at 10. And yet God didn't find 10 people in Sodom and Gomorrah for which he could save that city. All I want to say is, I don't think God can find 10 people like you who are not politicians in this nation. That's why we are where we are. If God could find 10 people like you who would speak with all honesty and boldness and courage like you're doing, I believe Ghana would have been saved. Thank you, Ansah Kwao. God bless you.
Thank you, and God bless you too. Let me... Hello, and who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana.
Yes, sir.
This is George from Adenta.
George, let me hear you.
Now, when the fundamentals
are weak,
are wrong, what will happen?
The CD will expose you, but he
the
says
exchange rate will expose you.
But he says that when the exchange rate exposes you, doesn't necessarily mean the fundamentals are weak. So.
Oh, that is this time around, has it? Now I'm a teacher. We've been promised that each child will be given a laptop for 6 years now. Now, do you know the kids even know, sorry to say, our vice president lies? They know, we teach them. Once a while, they will ask you, say, where are the laptops that were promised us? I mean, Baumia cannot be trusted. Seriously. Today we sat in the car and a certain gentleman trying to play some games, and he said, "Hey, Baumia, mommy change." And there was one guy who was sitting behind the mate, got serious. I tell you, the guy alighted when he hasn't got to his destination. Almost 24 people in the bus were on the guy. Because the guy was angry because one gentleman called the mate Baumia. Now all the mates in Accra call Baumia. Are you aware? Too bad.
Yeah.
You see, Nana, I have a cousin. I met one of my cousins, one of these funerals last 2 weeks ago. You know what he told me? We a doctor, we a professor. You see, this man has made people who are educated people look like.
Oh, that dropped. This one says, Nana, so is Dr. Bawumia going to use the same MPs and MPP party who voted for the e-levy to rule or remove it? Is Dr. Bawumia going to elect a vice president? And does Dr. Bawumia think we are all party fanatics? Odote ni Odote brings that. Let me get another message from here. It says, if we were Dr. Bawumia, I don't think, I wouldn't even think of becoming a flag bearer of the MPP, not to talk about becoming a president. He brought hardship to Ghanaians. He's failed the good people of Ghana. What did he take us for? We wouldn't sit down and watch these people throw dust into our eyes. Ebenezer Doe in Aveyime. Hello, who's talking to me?
My name is Sami.
Sami calling from?
Elambele constituency.
Let me hear you, my brother. Let me hear you.
Please, good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for your hard work. Please, do you remember this? Ghanaians are suffering. Teacher trainees are suffering. Nurses are suffering. Carriers are suffering. Please, I want to ask Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the saints are MPP for Bayern. These people, are they suffering or they are enjoying their life? This means Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and the MPP government take Ghanaians for granted. Because Osho and Sama Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia came in 2016. As I said, the Ghanaians are suffering at the Adena. You are not seeing any change. This means they don't have anything good for Ghanaians. So I want to advise Ghanaians, coming 7 December, let us all come together and vote for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is a visionary leader.
Thank you very much. But we'll do a show on the issue of voting for John Mahama, because we also have the issue of getting annoyed with one government and then we hand over blank check to another. But this time we must give specific instructions to the next person. Whether it's Bawumia, whether it's Mahama, whoever it is, we must give specific instructions. We seem to go in so angry and then hand over a blank check. But hello, who's talking to me?
Nana
Kwesi. I said, we will become. Nana, let me hear you.
You have been doing a lot of thinking with this whole government thing. You gave a perfect definition to the whole idea. However, I want to add up to what you said.
Sure.
The government analogy, I think it doesn't work here. It's like a plane. Bawumia is the co-pilot. That is how come if the main pilot is not there, he takes over. He actually controls the plane. So Bawumia is not the mate. He is the co-pilot, rather, who has, with his main pilot, steered the plane and putting us in a ditch. And just like you said, he's got into Takrade and he's telling us to fly us back, we should pay him again to fly us back. Because his main pilot, he didn't contribute to them putting us in the ditch. You see? So Bawumia is not the mate at all. Think about it. He's the co-pilot. He's the co-pilot. We are not voting. Me, I'm not voting for him. I've not voted before. This year I'll vote, but not for any of them. Nana, everybody keeps talking about their manifesto. What about Ghana's manifesto? Nana, what about Ghana's manifesto? Can't we get to the point where that thing that is in the constitution that is not mandatory for these people to continue their successive government projects? That thing must be abolished big time. It should be mandatory. We should have a way, a journey where we are going, whereby when you come, you don't have any choice that continue what was left, and then yours and whatever you want to do become secondary, become an addition to what we have already started building. Or else we'll keep leaving foundation and we'll keep digging new foundation and What about Ghana's manifesto, Nana? When are we going to get there? Because the individual manifestos is too much. Everybody is saying something different. If Baumia will win, the next president will come. Or say, I don't believe in that. No, I'm starting something different. Don't know. At the end of the day, who is at a disadvantage? At the end of the day, it's not your money. It's my tax. It's your tax. And they keep wasting it. The Constitution, we have to work on that. That's why I keep saying we should keep looking at the people we keep putting in parliament. If we continue to put these political apparatus there, they are the ones who will make sure some of these things will happen. If it's not being amended by them, who is going to do it? If you go and say that they should continue, they will tell you that the Constitution says that and by force. And it's true. Doesn't make sense, Nana. So Constitution may still down. Multimedia no we say the should be. I will just you not the next manager will say never I'm starting in major. Hey, in Constitution's business. So why are we doing it to the country? You won't do it to your private business. Yes, you are doing it to the whole country. Nana.
Thank you very much, my brother. And who's talking to me?
Good evening, Nana. Thank God for keeping you.
Thank you too, Ajiman Joseph.
I want the listeners to understand that with this your show, your submissions and your opinions doesn't, affect anybody. You are not attacking anybody, but you are attacking issues concerning all of us.
Thank you.
And now you are using driver and the mate as an example. That is a perfect example that I understand. And when there's a coordination between the driver and the mate, sometimes before the driver will change the lane, he will tell the mate, look there for me. We the passengers are waiting that they will take us home safely. So whether the coordination between the driver and the mate is perfect or not, it shouldn't affect the passengers.
Yeah.
And if you say you are the head of the economic team, what does it mean? The head means what? Don't you have control over economic issues? So do you want to tell us that for me, because I don't have absolute control, I wouldn't have accepted it. But when you vote for me, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to take this out. Hey, are politicians not careful about the way they use? I was expecting them to learn something from the promises that they told us that when I come, IMF, no way. This one, no. We are going to take out nuisance taxes. Now, the nuisance taxes, we are enjoying more than them. They're serving us with more nuisance taxes. Now, you are telling us that when they vote for me, I'll take it away. So what does it mean being the head of the economic team? And I think we, the voters, have to think twice. God bless you for your show.
God bless you too. Good evening, Nana. Please, if the MPP government thinks that what Baumia said can help the country, then they should implement all what he said now to save the country. Simple Joe from Aguna Sredu. Think you've summed up the whole show. The party has brought him. He's got blessings from his boss. But when he came, suddenly he's singing from a different hymn book. Then we must all change the tune. But to say, then we start afresh. We are the ones suffering. We are the ones suffering. And I'm saying, if you don't change the course and we get to the destination, we will board a new bus. So if you want us to sit in the same bus, then you better turn around now and go fast, because 10 months in politics, you can work magic. But Waka is the driver anyway. When we didn't even pay to say yeah, but anyway. This is not what we bargained for. These persons are suffering. We is suffering. Why you say? Yeah, but no way. This time, dear, Nyambeka said, "What about me? What about me? Hello, and who's talking to me? My screen." Leadership, this is from Delali David. It says leadership is about taking responsibility no matter how small they are, making the best of them. If Dr. Baumia can tell us he was acting as a mate and that he wants us to give him the steering wheel, then he doesn't deserve our attention, as he will eventually drive us into a ditch. It's worrying. The leadership we are always served as a people. What happened to us being citizens and not spectators? Gift the auntie says, bottom line, choose a woman as a running mate. How can I say I disagree when I'm going home? So I agree. 13th February 1995. I started my media journey. 13th, not me, my wife, please. This is what Henry is saying. 13th February 1995 marks 27th year as a TV presenter, probably the longest running independent show still on TV, still on Joy Prime. And this Sunday, 6:30 p.m. on Joy Prime, do not miss it. As for me, I'm telling you that this Easter, the biggest Kokunte party ever is in Edumasan. Let's eat Ghana, enjoy Ghana, celebrate Ghana. The biggest ever Kokunte party will be in Edumasan this Easter. I'll bring you the details. I am Ansah Kwao, the fourth chief of the Little Republic of Akwamu Edumasan. First, he's here with a beautiful, beautiful frame, lovely white blouse with a diamond brooch on it. Eloquently deliver your bulletin at 8 o'clock, so don't you even touch the dial. Next Monday, God willing, we'll be back to do this all again. Thanks to Abeku, who was on the ones and twos, and Kofi Hayford will be here to play some soul section songs while we're looking for drivers and mates.